Last month I talked about authors that I don't read from anymore, authors that I've read from that I just don't jive with. And you know, it was hard making that video because I don't like to bash authors or books, and I don't think I did in that video, at least I hope not. I don't ever want to come across that way, but it just happens. Today I'm going to talk about the complete opposite of that. These authors are Autobuy authors for me, and what does that mean? That means whatever they write, I will immediately buy. Like, I am a sucker for them. I love their books. Can't get enough of them. Let's talk about it. Honestly, I don't have a ton of authors. Like, when I was really thinking about it, I was like, I thought I had like this huge, vast list of Autobuy authors. And then I thought about it more. I'm like, well, if they wrote this genre, would I buy it? If they wrote something like this, would I buy it? And a lot of them, I was like, I'd maybe try it. I don't know if I'd buy it. So, you know, this doesn't have as many authors. And of course, I'm probably going to miss some because 'tis me. I always miss some, but let's just talk about it. First up, let's talk about the most obvious one. Probably my favorite author is Talia Jenkins Reid. I love Talia Jenkins Reid. I've read all of her books back when she was doing like kind of chick lit women's fiction to now where she is like doing fictional celebrities and things like that. Fictional, like, you know, Hollywood people. I love them. Like, this woman could write the instructions on how to make mashed potatoes and I would love it. Like, I would be 5 out of 5, flawless. These are the best mashed potatoes I've read in my life. Like, I would read it. Like, I love her books. There has not been a book of hers that I have really disliked. There's been a couple that they weren't 100% my favorite, but the majority of the time, I love her books. I love her writing. Autobuy author for me. I will read anything she writes. And I think that's a popular one. Talia Jenkins Reid is very popular. Her works are starting to be adapted now, which I'm very excited for. And I love her books, honestly. Like, Autobuy. Next up, we have Emily Henry. And this one is interesting because I say Autobuy, I'll buy anything they mean, but I put a little stipulation on this one. Now, Emily Henry has really come to make a name for herself in the adult romance genre. Like, she has taken the romance world by storm. She's won the Goodreads Award. She's very popular. Like, when you think of adult romance, a lot of people were like, Emily Henry. Now, that wasn't always the case. Back when I was a little bit younger, I read a lot of young adult books, and I read an Emily Henry young adult book because that's what she was writing. It was a sci-fi one, and it was one of my least favorite books I read. I did not like it at all. So this is the stipulation of I will auto-buy anything Emily Henry writes as long as it's in the adult genre. Her YA books, I don't jive with. Not for me. Her sci-fi, not for me. Adult romance, heck freaking yes. Read them all day, every day. Can't get enough. She's popular for a reason. I do get on the hype train for this one. Understandably so, because they're good. I like them. So, is this cheating a little bit? Probably, but you know, it is what it is. If she writes adult romance, you best believe I'm buying it, not even thinking twice about it. Next up, we have probably the newest author to come onto this list for me, and that is Grady Hendricks. So, Grady Hendricks writes predominantly horror books, and if you would have ever told me that a horror author would be on my auto-buy list, I would be like, you're crazy, because I don't read horror books. Grady Hendricks is a little bit of the exception. I'm a scaredy cat. I get scared of literally everything. Can't watch scary movies, can't watch scary previews. Like, I am good. But for some reason, some books I can handle. So I have read 4 of Grady Hendricks' novels. I still need to read 2 of his other ones, and I love them. They are awesome. My favorites, hands down, are My Best Friend's Exorcism and How to Sell a Haunted House. I love them. His horror, some of them are very scary, but it's also has a lot of emotional weight to it. They all have like this bigger picture, and I love them. So yes, he's an Autobuy author for me, because if a horror book can make me terrified in a sitting and make me sob in the next one, like, that is a win for me. I'm talking about his latest one, How to Sell a Haunted House. Love it. But I really enjoy his works. He really hasn't let me down with this whole storytelling as of yet. So yeah, he's an Autobuy author for me. I don't have to think about it. I really enjoy them. Next up is Talia Hibbard, another adult romance. You'll sense a trend. I have a lot of auto-buys with adult romances. She writes predominantly adult romance. She did just release a YA romance that I am planning to read, and I actually just got it from the library. So I really enjoy her books. She writes some great steamy time books that I really love. She's written a lot of series such as The Brown Sisters, and I believe Ravenswood, was that the series? And she's written a lot of standalones as well. Her books are just fun. They're easy to fly through, and again, steamy. And I really enjoy anything Talia Hibbard writes. There's been some where I haven't enjoyed them as much, but overall, as a whole, she's an auto-buy author for me because I enjoy the majority of her books, and I always look forward to reading them. And I really think no matter the genre, I would read Talia Hibbard because I like her writing that much. So she's amazing. I love her. Moving on to another thriller author, and that is Riley Sager. He's the only thriller author I have on here, much like Grady Hendricks is the only horror author I have on here because I've read a lot of his books. I've read all of them. Does he have 6 or 7 out now? And honestly, I really enjoy his books. Like there's been a couple, like his latest one that came out, I did not enjoy that one whatsoever. Easily my least favorite of his. But for the majority of them, I enjoy the plots of them. I enjoy the characters. I enjoy the twist. I enjoy the settings. Like I really have a good time with a Riley Sager novel. I always look forward to them. I get excited when I see a new one's coming out every year, so I don't have to think twice about buying it. Will it maybe let me down? Yes, but he's written more books of his that I've liked than I disliked, if you get what I'm saying. So he's still really good for me. He's probably my favorite thriller author, honestly, with the sheer amount of books I've read from him. So I'd say out of his 7, is there 7? I really hope. I could be totally wrong. There's only 6. Out of his 6 books, I have liked 4 of them. There's been only 2 that I haven't really liked. So for me, it's a win. I will buy his book. He's got a new one coming out this year that I will definitely buy. No questions asked. Next up is Abby Himezen. I really enjoy this author. She's one of my favorite romance authors that I think is still kind of underrated. Like when I talk about her, there's a fair few people that don't know who she is, and I'm like, why? She's so awesome. Now, it's interesting because the first book and the first book she ever published and the first book I ever read, The Friend Zone, I do not really like. It's my least favorite Abby Himezen book. It's just not that good. I don't enjoy it. But her books since, I have loved them. My favorite book of hers is The Happily Ever After Playlist. I love and adore it. She writes great romance novels with a lot of depth to them that have a lot of serious undertones in them. So if you don't like that, maybe I wouldn't recommend her books. But overall, I look forward to all of her books. I'm so excited for them. If she wanted to branch into a different genre, I would totally support that. I'd be like, yes, go for it. I love it. But I love her books. I will keep buying her books because I really love her writing. And the last one I have in here is Rachel Lynn Solomon. So I discovered Rachel Lynn Solomon, like I didn't discover her, you know, like I found her when she was writing YA books. And I read her first one, You'll Miss Me When I'm Gone. And it was a very sad YA book that I loved. And it's still to this day one of the under the radar like YA books that I will always recommend that nobody talks about enough. Since then, she has kind of moved over and kind of double dipped, I guess you could say. And she does adult romance as well, which again, I really enjoy as well. So I will read both her adult and YA books. And I don't do that with a lot of authors now because sometimes I'm just like, With hers, I like both genres. They're both really fun. I love her adult romances and I love her YA ones. They're just fun times. And I really enjoy her writing style, her characters. Again, she writes different genres. So if she wanted to maybe branch into another different genre, I'd be totally for it. I would totally buy it. That's why she's on this list. I enjoy her. I have my very short list of auto-buy authors. Am I missing some? Absolutely. And of course, in true fashion, I thought of some other authors. Tessa Bailey, I'd say probably would fit on this list, as well as Christina Lauren. Frederick Bachman, yes. I cannot believe I forgot about him. I've read all of his books, and I will probably read anything he writes, as well as Nicola Yoon. She writes mostly young adult, but I would love if she wrote some adult. That would be awesome. And I'm sure I'm missing more, but these are just ones I thought I'd miss, so there's that. Because I am not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but these are the ones that I could think of on the top of my head that I just really love and adore and just will read anything they write pretty much. Maybe with the exception of a couple of them with different genres, maybe like Henry, but you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm throwing down. I would love to know what authors are on your list that like you're like, I will buy anything they write. I love them. I'm obsessed with them. Like, please let me know down below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.